Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CCL Kickoff Classic. It's myself, Visions, joined with Proper here for the night as we get ready to jump in towards some of our matches. And well, the first one coming up here for us, Andy, a pretty special one. Concord Maroon, the finalists from last year here, going up against one of our new squads here for us, California State University, Long Beach, to see how it's all going to come together for us.
I just really enjoy how he had to look down. We already had
I
told us
did.
it's a very long college name right there for Cali Long Beach. But yeah, I mean Concord Maroon coming into the mix like you talked about. Finalists, runner-up to Texas A&M Maroon back in the Modern Warfare season. They actually won the kickoff tournament back in the beginning of the Modern Warfare year as well, so they might be trying to make a little bit of a repeat. Now, throughout the entirety of the kickoff tournament, it is a single elimination bracket, so both these teams have a chance to be able to continue themselves as a quarterfinal match to put themselves inside semifinals. One of these teams, unfortunately, are about to be going home.
That's right. And I mean, really, Concord's entire run so far has been pretty phenomenal. I'm pretty sure they're flawless up towards this point, 2-0s all along. And I mean, this is a squad obviously last year that we hyped up quite a bit. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they had won the first kickoff tournament of Modern Warfare as
That's
well
right.
that we had, right? So these guys usually come out of the guns really, really strong. And they also put in the time. I mean, someone like Megatron's been talking a lot, very vocally about how they've been really trying to get ready for this, having a little fun, poking here and there. So it should be a great time all around. But ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to jump in towards our game, kicking things off here on Moscow Hardpoint. See how it is all going to play out for us.
Well, the names at the top of the screen are backwards, but Red Chase, Megatron, there we go. It's all caught up to us. Crooked and Trauma, that is the four players that we know are very vocal as far as College COD is concerned. Well, the colors may be backwards, but we know these names. Clear as yesterday. Represented in the yellow will be Concord Maroon, and the represented in the red will be CSULB Black, their roster of Zuri, Flamma, Bolt, and Afro. A bunch of individuals I don't really know much about, but so far, what they're tasked for here on Moscow Hardpoint, Austin, you got to be able to hold on towards those P2 spawns, but some quick kills. Megatron with 3 on their second life puts themselves at 4-1. A clear opportunity for Concord Maroon to break in towards those P2 spawns.
It sure is. Megatron likely going to be looking to try and pick up this rotation. Just about all 4 players moving through the street. First gunfight comes through, and Megatron can't bring that one home. So Afro with the very first kill, but Crooked with the response, and now you have Red Chase up top, and he's going to be responsible for essentially just locking down all these long-range sites, and you can see him doing that just about beautifully. No one on the time so far, and Red Chase actually considers giving up the position there, realizes his teammates are going to move in, going to get back up to his power position. Now he's got all of these red members sitting in front of him, as he's going to be able to line up another one for himself. Almost finds the fourth, and now Flamma able to maybe push through and see if he can flip things out.
Just trying their best to keep their life up here. I mean, 74U, Crook's going to try to get up there and break this top police station hole, but Red Chase is going to come in there. I mean, the close response is just too much to handle. 30 seconds is what's left here on P2, and CSULB Black, they're about to be breaking in towards this hill time, and that'll be good for them, but I mean, if you're Concord Maroon, you're going to be feeling pretty darn good about this. That's until Flamma off the respawn is about to break down through gold. These players are going to get cut down towards that back alleyway, and you got to be careful here if you're Concord Maroon. You're now fighting for the back 20, of which you will find, but it's a very long rotation from Moscow P2 to P3. Now they got to break inside these spawns yet again.
That's a good one here for Afro. That might just be a spawn out there for the last player, which means we're in pretty much a 4v2, but Red Chase does answer back with Bolt off screen. Afro just needs to try and hold this position as he's got some teammates in and around playing for trades, and this is going to be about trying to get the time here. No one's actually soaking up any time, so this is a bit of a misplay, I would say. Overall, they are focused on trying to get the spawns in the back, but this has been big plays coming through for Trauma and Crook, both of them winning it on their gunfights. And sure, you have one player that's left on the hill, but you've now lost the spawns. You've lost control of a lot of these power positions. This is a great chance for Concord Maroon to be able to stack up even more points.
I mean, even back in P2, it was Flamma that was able to break back in towards that and really caused a lot of disarray inside police station, but now trying to break it through the front. In control of the hill is CSULB Black, and well, they do have a definite control of this, but a Concord Maroon, again, they're not going to go ahead and fight for the back 15. This is wise. It's very competitive between the first 3 hills, but inside the Boulevard hardpoint, if Concord Maroon get the power setup, get a player inside the Rusted Bus, maybe a player on top of Gold, you can see that player number 8 on the minimap of Trauma is already kind of fiddling with that idea. They can really make this for a strengthy hold and a good lead ahead of the second set of hills.
Concord is really good at getting to the new rotation first, but can they actually hold on to it this time around? That is actually 3 down here for CSULB, so this is going to be now a great chance to be able to get some of that lead that they wanted on that last hill, but they were broken pretty easily despite having the spawns and the flip coming in for them. Now, the second attempt, Bolt just gets absolutely beamed off the heady. There will be a contest, as it's going to be Afro who gets pinched from the side here from small room. So this has been a stronger hold coming in towards our last hill, but Zuri is going to respond back here, trying to make sure the last 30 does not go over for free.
Why not just go over for free? Crick 6 trophy system is going to be denied, and well, here's a well-placed Semtech. Crick's going to be able to find 2 with that, and that's going to almost guarantee this back 15. But CSULB Black, I mean, through a first set of hills of always really just clawing from behind, put themselves in a good spot. I mean, yes, from the scoreline, you might say that's a pretty big deficit, but it's not too bad as far as Moscow is concerned. I mean, going inside the second set of hills, being down 50 points is a whole lot better than where Concord Maroon typically would put themselves off, especially through the Modern Warfare years. So CSULB Black, again, starting off towards the east side of the map inside the second set of hills. Going to look to be able to hold on to this while keeping P1 scrappy, but Trauma is able to find a big kill through the cutout wall. They're going to find this opportunity to spot to the 74U before they get cut down, but still trying to keep this contested, are CSULB Black.
You can see on your mini-map there in the bottom left-hand corner, player 7, that is going to be Crooked. He's going to see if he can maybe potentially get through and flip out these spawns, where you need to try and maybe neglect a bit of this time from going over for the side of CSULB, but also make sure you're holding on towards these P2 spawns. And, well, just like that, they are going to lose them. So now they need to try and make sure they grab the last 20 seconds or so, and Crook might have something to say about that. But Bolt, he might find a way through, grabs himself a kill, can't combine for the second. Crook's also going to back up, make sure that they get an efficient setup here on towards P2, just about a hard point difference. So CSULB Black, they need to respond here and find a quick break.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, through 2 different instances, you would thought that CSULB were going to be able to hold on towards the P2 spawns, but Flamma Bolt, they double on down, trying to hit it through the apartment side, but you got to be worried about Red Chase in top of the at any given moment. This player can snap, and with that top position inside police, they are just going to be able to gun you down. One more player is over here at Zuri inside the BS&D site. Just going to try to keep their life. Can't get away from Trauma's sight lines, though. So far, so good for Concord Maroon, and it's going to be looking like a lockdown for about 40 plus.
Desperation looks to be seeping through for some of the members right now for CSULB. I mean, they're not really setting up team-coordinated pushes. A lot of the solo challenges coming through off the front, and now they're trying to see if they can get the scraps for 30, and Crooks is just not going to allow anyone to get that. That is a full hold coming through here for Concord Maroon. And, I mean, we talk about a lot of these situations often on a map like Moscow where you need to hold your initial setups. Last time it did not come through, and no one got on the initial time here for the side of CSULB. This needs to change right now. We need to start holding some of these full hills, and they're going to attack from the backside here for Maroon as they get all the way around. Zuri will find the first one as he actually put himself in the back corner, and they're not even going to be interested in challenging with that. 2 big kills do come through, and Concord Maroon now will have to try and wait patiently here for a moment to set up their next push.
This is actually a really good setup for CSULB. I mean, like you said, Zuri is just off in poo-poo all the way back behind the bank, and that sight line alone is going to be able to keep the pinch for Concord Maroon. Crick comes back in, is able to double on down along with their teammate, and this is going to be library control. So this is going to now force CSULB to spawn over by the bank side. Concord Maroon just need to keep their life, and so far so good. A 13 and 12 Megatron, or 11 and 17 Megatron. Maybe not exactly the sexiest KD ratio for them so far, is doing a great job of just controlling the pace of this inner area. And there's the break that Concord were looking for.
Yeah, Concord are just, finding these little openings. They're taking full advantage of it. A chance now to win this rotation. Megatron, massive one-on-one here against Afro, and well, he's already predicting the second one here to potentially clean up all the players inside of gold. He's going to get unfortunate timing as he pushes his way through, loses a teammate, realizes he does lose track of one, but snaps on him easily. Yeesh. And now the spree coming through for Megatron on 5. A chance to be able to push up towards the hill, soak up some of this time. His teammates are slaying in and around the hill right now, and this is a chance to close things out. Concord Maroon with the hold, but Zuri says no. He finds himself a kill, gets some assistance on the second. There will be a quick break, but can they hold on?
I mean, they're going to have to play just flawless hardpoint, and this is what I was alluding to at the end of the first set of hills, Austin. I mean, Moscow hardpoint can escape you very quickly. You can't lock down these hills. 30 seconds left inside P4, and you got power position to play with here if you are CSULB, and you do have some good kills that are coming on through, plus close spawns to boot. It's not Concord Maroon. They might be looking at this, maybe find a couple of kills. You don't have to close it out here. I mean, P1, you don't even have to close it out there either, because that's how far the lead really is from Concord Maroon. You could just look to get a nice, comfortable buffer, keep those spawns for P2, and close it out right there for Concord Maroon. They're looking to push the envelope through gold. You already got player number 6 in Megatron going rogue inside there. They will be cut down. But so far, that's a lot of information that Concord Maroon will need, plus the initial time for P1 once they get these stragglers off the hill.
Afro does find himself one on towards P1. Get some assistance here from Bolt, so they will keep it contested, but by no means is there full control just yet. Now the spawners here for Concord Maroon might be good. Megatron's double might be enough to maybe grab the last 20 seconds or so that is needed. Crooked with the challenge is good for control, and now staggered pushes coming through one by one as they have to try and contest the hill, and Trauma is just shutting down every last member. This is looking good for the win as they are just stomping their opponents, winning the gunfights. Concord Maroon coming out to play here for the very first match on stream, and they will deliver 250 coming through to 118.
Yeah, I mean, through the first set of hills, it was, very scrappy. Some very split decisions that were coming through from Concord Maroon, and trying to figure out whether or not they should be fighting for that back 30 over by P2. I mean, you just got to think about how big, comparatively to where we were in the past 2 games, Austin. From P2 to P3 alone, again, they got those gifted spawns inside the second set of hills. They just needed to play that exact position and turn P2 into a money hill, but you could have made that inside of P3. Just a little bit of an overextension right there. That could have been the lead much earlier on, but you saw that through the second set of hills. Minor adjustments coming through from Concord Maroon, a little bit more passive, yet knowing when to be able to hit the gas down and being able to shut down every single push that CSULB were looking for. Even take yourself back. When CSULB were holding on to the P3 hill, they had a really good setup, but I mean, through any instances, any one of these 4 members from Concord Maroon can absolutely go off. We saw it happen from Red Chase against Texas A&M Maroon. Megatron has always been flopping in between whether or not they want to play that AR or the SMG through Modern Warfare. Looks like they are living up to be that flex role here, and then you also have the submachine gun pressure of Trauma and Crook. Just absolutely a spectacle to see, especially through College COD.
It's exactly it. And I mean, I'd love to say it's going to get easier here for this squad, but it's not. Concord Maroon, flawless, like I said at the top of the broadcast here. So they've been pretty good in search and destroy as well. And I mean, there is some takeaways, I feel like, for the most part here for CSULB Black. They have at least come out with a lot of these very close crunch time type of wins here, going to a lot of game 3s, taking down, I believe it was Full Sail here, a squad that we definitely had highly rated going in towards playoffs last season. So they've been able to at least take down some decent veteran players that have been able to at least make some kind of a name of themselves within the CCL. So you have to kind of feel like really channel that, say, all right, we made a lot of mistakes in that very first map, and try to rebound very quickly, because we know Concord Maroon, when they get a bit of momentum, Andy, it feels like more often than not, they're able to just run right through their opponents like it's nothing. And that is something you have to really stop in its tracks. And that's something that we did see a little bit going in towards playoffs last year, where you say, okay, we make sure we go 1 for 1 coming in towards the series early. We don't let you get too big of an advantage that you're going to be able to run away with that and just do things like we just saw Red Chase and Megatron do, where they can go on these sprees, they can take over games, and they just have the ability to be able to turn the tides in their favor. And that often leads towards full hills that we did end up seeing there on Moscow. So going in towards search, this will be at least the first look of what strategies they also have prepped, right? That is, I think, is something that I'm very interested to see. I believe we're going to be going in towards a raid, search, and destroy, a map that's been still fairly new towards the rotation. Still a lot of different strategies kind of being finalized and figured out for as far as how you're looking to try and counter and play against certain teams here. And well, I mean, it should be fun. I'm pending the scope. I'm not sure if you know, Andy, if the scope is allowed, because obviously we know CDL was G8 out. I'm hoping we get to see it tonight. I don't know for sure if it is coming through or not.
I'm pretty sure that they are following NA rule set, so that wouldn't meaning that no smokes, no snipers, AR, submachine guns. They didn't go with it. I mean, if there's one thing that we know about College COD, maybe even in the early going of things, is maybe they're not really too diverse as far as their strategies are concerned. They can end up going for the tried and true strategy of just absolutely run at them, see if we can gun them down over top of one of these sites, and that could just be the search and destroy round, especially raid being in very close quarters and having a lot of different nooks and crannies that you can find those off angles with. But we will be able to see throughout the opening round whether or not we are playing with snipers or not, Austin. But yeah, raid, search and destroy, and all search and destroy altogether. I mean, you got to think about when we were talking about Concord Maroon at the end of last season, when we hit that little bit of a lull period ahead of playoffs, that this team of Concord Maroon, they spent a lot of time apart from each other, but the time that they did spend together was playing search and destroy together. So that blind trust is there. I mean, these 4 players have been playing together for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand something when it comes down to Call of Duty. That small talk is not exactly something that you can just grow overnight. It's something that you're going to be able to adhere to over time. And that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking forward to as far as how they're maneuvering throughout the entire of the map, how they are adapting to the CSULB roster. That, again, I don't know too much about, but as far as what we're able to take away from that Moscow Hardpoint, they're not afraid to get in there. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty, and that's something that I greatly appreciate from players like Afro and Flama, something that we saw continuously, especially through the break points. And when you do have submachine guns that are not afraid to be able to break inside those strongholds, that's exactly what you're going to almost want when you are taking a site either for a retake or for a pre-plant.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, map 2 coming through. Concord Maroon, of course, leading after the first one there on Moscow. An offense will be coming through here for CSULB Black. Looks to be a hit towards B as middle map control pretty much gifted over towards Concord. No real kills coming through yet, but shots are going to be fired. Nate also coming through, and now it's going to be Damzuri up top. Get some excellent help here from one of his teammates. They're going to be able to get some logic control, find that kill, and maybe even a chance now to drop the bomb with a numbers advantage.
Bomb's looking to go down here at B. Like you said, numbers advantages here in a 4v3, but Nessing are trying to do their best inside of red. Bolt knows that there's a player right out there. That would be Red Chase. And Red Chase here with the 74U is actually going to be able to lock down some shots. Team shots galore on the Afro. It's going to even things up. 30 seconds left to play. Red Chase. Oh, so there's a player inside the gym, but Bolt gets the trade.
Megatron needs to find this kill in towards the back, but he will have some assistance here from Trauma. Flama just able to play his life here ever so beautifully. No one can give it away for free. Still a 2v2 with 15 seconds left, and they just have to work the clock. Zuri will not get taken down top laundry. They will find Flama, but they could still hop on this. This kill needs to come through, and they should be able to find Megatron here. So that will be a successful hold. It was real close. If that 1v1 is won in the end, then there's a chance Megatron gets that diffused through, but not the case. CSULB will be able to grab the first initial round.
Yeah, and that's what's just really scary, especially for a search and destroy here on Raid, that when you do get that quick plant on B, it is a very hard site to retake, especially when you do lose a number early, which Concord Maroon were trying to pull themselves back from. I mean, without having a AR or any player inside of Laundry to be able to shut down that initial push, that's what can get pretty scary. And typically we'll see that happen with smokes, but CSULB Black, they don't care. They hit the gas all the way down through the pavement, and hell, it hits the molten core center of the earth, and they just fly over towards that site, find that first kill, and they're able to put themselves up a round. So Concord Maroon for their offense looking like an A site hit. I believe that CSULB Black, they might have this scouted out, but 2 quick kills come through for Concord, and Crook's going to drop the rock.
And they're not going to expect this, and you can see Red Chase's position up top here. Gunfight across the map versus Afro. We'll tag him up, but won't bring home the kill. Put pretty low himself. 3v2 situation on this retake here for Bolt and Afro. And Bolt's trying his hand at maybe trying to gun one of the players. Red Chase gets a second attempt, and well, he's going to bring home the kill this time around. Afro now, last one left alive, finds the first one, snaps for the second one, snaps for the third one. Afro 1v3 in a matter of seconds. What a way to go up early.
Look, and this is why in between 2 players that I recognize coming off that Moscow hard point, Afro was one of them. Not afraid to get in here, not afraid to take these challenges, and that's exactly what you want from a player coming in towards the CCL. Beautiful shot to open up inside a bedroom and then just locks things down. I mean, my goodness, shooting straight nukes out of that AR. Fantastic work from Afro to retake that site. Now puts CSULB Black up at a numbers disadvantage, up 2-0 in the round count.
And it's those rounds that we talk about that you should just win. I mean,
you have
20 seconds left in the clock. I mean, sure, they just ended up stomping them a bit, maybe in the very first hard point. So they're going for some of these ego challenges here, Andy. And well, they get paid, or rather they are not going to be able to kind of bring this one through off the back end of really just not being disciplined in that situation. So a little bit tough. Now we see a mid-map push here on offense, and not something we see too often, but they just completely hit it, win the first gunfight, win the second, and now with plenty of time to work with here, they're going to be able to work through a 4v2 and maybe even a third as Crook gets spotted here, but we'll be able to try and run away for a quick second. Zuri follows it up, and now it's a 1v4 for Trauma.
Well, easier things have been done in Trauma's young career, and well, they're not even going to make it up with sort of the water steps. Absolutely get snapped on, and well, here's what's scary too. I'm sure we'll see it at the beginning. Yes, we will, especially from Zuri's perspective. I mean, just look how isolated these members for Concord are. I mean, Red Chase is stuck down here inside the rocks after Megatron got cut down inside a kitchen. I mean, as far as like trying to hit it very aggressively through the defense, you either all in and you pinch it from both the sides of A and B, or you just don't, and you try to play for the retake. Concord Maroon, a little bit of staggered as far as what they wanted to do there defensively, and it comes back to bite them straight up in the tail, and that's not exactly where you want to be at 3-0 down here, even up the map count. And if you're a fan of CSULB Black, then this is exactly where you want to be at. Concord Maroon trying to take an adaptation A site didn't work in their previous offense. We're going to try the B site. This isn't actually scouted out, keep in mind you, by CSULB. So this bomb could actually go down very quickly. But Concord Maroon, they're not feeling comfortable to do it quite yet, Austin. They want to make sure they have all the information in the world before planting the bomb.
They sure do. And this time around, they will actually lose that first blood battle. Megatron able to at least create an advantage early. This Crooked is also going to be able to scout things out, make sure full launching control is theirs, and it is. Bomb now going through. Everyone pretty separate here on the map as Amzuri was coming in from behind. Will get taken down. Megatron finds the second in the round. Llama now another clutch situation would have to come through. Finds the first one. Still 3 players to try and work through. Might find one in the middle of the map. I think that was Crooked who does bring that one home. And finally, Concord Maroon will find themselves on the board.
Shoes quite literally on the other foot as far as the round is concerned. I mean, CSULB Black didn't necessarily have a player directly looking towards that B site, and that's what's just so punishing. And Concord Maroon, they just storm over there. 3 players did, when 1 player was going towards the middle of the map and get control of that site. Megatron was able to find that first blood, and it was all just downhill there. But you know, again, a continuous uphill battle for Concord Maroon as they're still down 2 rounds. You know, very good defense here to make this a 1-round affair. To make this a very competitive search and destroy. CSULB, they are looking for this A site. Do have player number 2 of Afro looking through the middle of the map. Bolt dropped down to 25 HP. I think twice before re-peeking out through this bedroom window.
Huge part of getting control of this A site is finding that very first kill to allow you to work with that numbers advantage. And Trauma might be the player that they look to line up here. Bolt's trying to work for an angle in between the cracks, but not going to get a clean shot. Afro responsible for holding the middle of the map. His position also going to be pretty important in case they want to make a rotation over towards B. Shots do go through here by the pool house, but still no one going down. And this is a scary spot to be in because you're getting a little bit low on time. You've just lost Bolt. Ooh. Now you're in a numbers disadvantage. You still got to find a way to work towards this bomb.
Some way, Trauma's going to slide down on the backside of the statue. Flama wants to think twice before committing towards that. 30 seconds left. You got to make a play happen here. Flama knows that this player back here, Crook, you got to turn around, but Flama will get the kill there in the end. So 2v3 we go. Bomb has to make a play here. 20 seconds remaining. And the Bomb's actually going for a full rotation back through driveway. It's going to go over towards the B site. And Concord Maroon, they have no idea that it's over here. Trauma will now know as they will narrowly lose their life. Just 30 HP. Throw down the drain. Trauma is taken down. Red Chase for a 1v3.
Red Chase gets info on the first one here. Looks like he wants to maybe totally reposition. He's reading the push through, but won't be able to come out on top with a gunfight. And well, a round that I didn't think was going to be possible to win here for the side of CSULB Black does end up coming through. And Crook was responsible for kind of watching this rotation. Almost turns on Flama here in the spawn, but not enough to really bring home any value and cutting it off completely. So the first blood comes through once again. Concord Maroon just this time around are unable to convert. So down 4-1. Back on offense here for the boys in red to see exactly how they're going to be able to set up their next offense. They've had a couple of successful pushes at least come through over towards B the first time around. Looks like they want to try and do this here again as Red Chase looks for info in the middle of the map. It's going to be Bolt that he might end up fighting against, but won't be able to find the line of sight to take the shots here. Everyone just slowing things down completely, but there is a ton of map control here for the side of CSULB Black.
And I think Afro did see this. They backed up very quickly, and, well, they're going to be able to have that sightline onto Megatron the second that they try to go ahead and get laundry control. So now you're going to be thinking twice before getting full circumference of the site. The bomb has been planted, of course. 30 seconds remaining for the retake for CSULB Black. And Concord Maroon, they got trophy systems. Nades are going to come through, and 2 more kills to come out. Zuri trying to work their way up to the back staircase of laundry, and beautiful execution. Almost got a little hairy there with Afro finding that kill, but you can definitely see that the trades and the information are being talked about for Concord Maroon. Again, trying to keep this competitive.
Coming through, and you can see them slowing things down a little bit here, Andy. I mean, there was a lot of map control for as far as the middle of the map, but again, all very separate here. Very much relying on the 1v1 gunfights to actually come through. So CSULB Black still with the lead here, up by 2 rounds, but need to put 2 away. They've been much more successful on offense than defense, and they've been able to change things up quite a bit here, attacking both sides. And look at this here on the mini-map. Just about everyone in the middle of the map for Concord. They might be looking to hit Zig very aggressively. Bolt a chance to line up one, but can't bring home the gunfight. The double challenge is going to be good. And now everyone's going to be trapped just about inside of ring as they are going to be maybe looking to try and push through laundry.
It's about to be a big moment here for Zuri. I know the players are here, but the double challenge again is good. Crooked on 5 in a row, by the way, through multiple rounds. It's going to now leave Flama and Afro in a 2v4 situation. Flama's position has been sought out on the back part of this van. Tries to go for the challenge over top of the little wall right outside of Spiral. Will lose their life. One round between these two teams now after a 3-0 start for CSULB Black. And my goodness, again, like you talked about, I mean, Concord Maroon, they were previously slowing down, but how about that double challenge over towards Ziggs? Wonderfully executed. I mean, even if Crook lost their life, the trade was about to be there for sure. And then they just do the same thing on the backside of Jungle, right outside of Laundry. So it's just, again, these small adaptations that you expect out of a championship caliber team, whether it's collegiate, challengers, all the way up to the pro level. Concord Maroon are able to showcase just that.
Starting to look a lot better, that is for sure. Well, look again, Megatron, he finds himself another first blood here on offense. Crook probably responsible for getting top laundry control here as he waits for his teammates to set up a coordinated hit. He will be the first one in. Does get stunned up here, but doesn't find anyone inside of the building, as it's actually 3 members, maybe all looking to push out Afro. Afro has a very important role to play here. Does find the first one. Crook in from behind, gets it, but Afro's able to grab 2 before he falls. And now it's going to be a 2v2, 50 seconds left on the clock, and a chance to maybe plant B or make a rotation.
Oh, the rotation was the right call, but couldn't get the gunny up in time. Flama just hits it out from kitchen. That would have been really scary had they been trying to commit towards that site a little longer, given that red control was found over by CSULB. But yeah, Afro, I mean, again, locking down that sightline right over top of that railing inside of Laundry. You want that trade to come through a little bit sooner, if not just throw a bow instead of trying to throw the shot, knowing that a player was going to hit it from the backside. Afro up at 8-5, 7-5 there for Zuri, playing their roles ever so wonderfully as far as retaking and holding these positions. It was Afro in the previous defense that shut it all down almost for Concord Maroon, and that's exactly why that position is just so wonderful to have when you're trying to hold down the B zone. But now CSULB 5-3, looking to close it out here in round number 9. They're going to get a quick plan over towards A and look at the positions they have on the map.
Big kill here from Afro, but it's going to be Bolt who responds back here over by the site, which means it's going to be up to Concord Maroon to clutch this one up to keep things going in map 2. Red Chase and Trauma have to be the ones to get it done. And Red Chase looks to reposition here, maybe try and push outside of money. Flama's going to be holding the close corner here, bottom left. And I don't think Red Chase is going to check this whatsoever. Bolt's playing his life. Red Chase will fall. Last one left alive going to be Trauma. And, well, he's got no time. And unless we see exactly what Afro did coming in that second round, this is going to be done and dusted. Trauma just maybe going to try and take home a gunfight. And, well, can't even do that. CSULB Black responding very fierce in the search and destroy and raid. And they're going to tie up the series 1-1.
Going to guarantee ourselves that 4th map between these two teams. I mean, started off very slow there for Concord Maroon and absolutely just thrown on their heels. Very unfortunate to say the least after I was sitting here gassing up their search and destroy towards the end of last season. But I mean, hell, that's the difference in between a long break and starting of a new game. And well, this is why it's a kickoff tournament. Everybody's so considerably learning the game. I mean, even look at North American Challengers, look at some CDL pro teams after the little exhibition matches that we just had last weekend, Austin. I mean, game's still forever progressing. And here's the thing about collegiate players. I mean, studies just got picked up too. These are students first and obviously competitive players second. So you got to throw a little bit of a tip to your cap whenever you can. But I mean, CSULB, I mean, the ice in the veins. I mean, Afro with that 3-piece at the end.
Yeah, man.
I would be shook after that. I'm not going to lie, but able to keep it competitive in some instances where Concord Maroon able to showcase some of those adaptations. So checkmate controls on the horizon. Like I said, we are guaranteed that 4th map, and we will go back to raid for that hard point.
Yeah, we sure will. And just to kind of touch on that, this is really, our first look at, where all these players are at. And it's kind of gauging out the season. So you talk about these kickoff events as something that is at least really important. I feel like for the players as well, as much as there's maybe not as much on the line, right? Because you're not playing for a playoff spot. You're playing to say, hey, this is how good we are right now. We're trying to show things off, especially when you're on broadcast, right? This is what the players are trying to do, Andy. Trying to make sure they're throwing some weight around on cast, getting some big plays. And I mean, you look at a squad that is going up against Concord Maroon in the first place, and you're like, well, this is already a pretty nasty squad, right? They end up finishing second last year. They win the kickoff event. They're 4 players with chemistry. It's already a tough matchup, I think, mentally going in towards it, knowing that you might not have as much practice as these guys, or at least might not have as much team chemistry for as far as your 4 core members. But it's all about building that through. And I mean, if you already have a strong game mode to kind of rely on here for yourself, and you can look to polish up your hard points and controls, then you're already looking pretty good going in towards the regular season here for the most part. So the squad at least bringing it here for us as we line up checkmate control. It's also a good chance to see how knowledgeable both of these squads are in control, because that's, I think, one of the big game modes that a lot of teams are still trying to figure out how to play. I think this is overall the biggest weakness amongst some of our top challenger teams that we have in multiple regions, for as far as being really good at hardpoint, being really good at search and destroy, but being a really good control team is like we used to talk about back in towards, you know, Modern Warfare with domination, coming through with Full Sail being an excellent domination team. If they go down 0-2 in the series, they can always rely on that. So this is also going to be a really good kind of way to gauge these squads for as far as how much time they've been putting in towards this game on how they're going to be able to execute here for us.
Everybody besides Wester in North America Challengers really seems to have a struggle with
a good way to put
how
it.
control works. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, just how we could frame it up, that if you have a very strong control, I mean, we call it the swing map mode for a combo for this exact circumstance. Side up one apiece, put yourself in the seat that where you get that little ego bump ahead of that raid hard point. And, you know, that's exactly where you want to be at, especially with the egos that we talk about here in College COD. Lord, do they love to talk it up inside that Discord. But still, I mean, in a great spot, our CSULB, given that, again, you know, off of some different circumstances that we saw in that first set of hard points for Moscow, and even what we saw in the Ice of the Veins from Afro, I'm really keeping my eyes out for them and Zuri. Again, Checkmate is one of those maps, offensive, defensive light. You can really just lock things out. It's a very open map. Plane control is absolutely a virtue. You get an SMG inside that plane or two that you can then look for your ARs to hold those side lanes, and that's when that small talk comes through. That's when you're going to be able to find those team shots. When you're on that offensive side of things for Checkmate control, that's where things can absolutely spiral out of control. You could always end up shifting out one member, whether it's an AR or an SMG, to go rogue and towards the back line, and really always keeping the defense on their back foot. But it could also spiral out of control on the opposite side if you don't win that gunfight convincingly enough and you can't get those defensive players out of your spawn. Checkmate control is one of those maps, and we'll really all control maps at this given point in time for Cold War, can absolutely come back to bite you in the rear if you don't just count your respawns and you don't try to play the time and you don't just try to win out that gunfight as convincingly as you possibly can.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, map number 3, the massive swing map. If you're just tuning in, well, you picked a real good time to click on that link, because this is going to shape up to, I have to imagine, be an excellent series between both of these squads. And now we'll see how this very first initial offense goes for the side of Concord, as they're going to be able to grab that first kill here on towards Flama. Big one-on-one here, playing for the plane control. Megatron almost brings home the second, but Red Trace, he's got the trades. And this is going to be plane control here, but not so much over by the side. As you saw Zuri off screen, he actually was able to push through this A lane, create a bit of space, but Red Chase on a tear as he opens things up at 3-0.
Yeah, and then Correct is also putting themselves over at A along with Megatron. Trauma will now lose their life, but here's what's really scary as far as the positional standpoint. You lost the fight inside plane, so now you're really just hoping that Megatron and Crook can hold their life for as long as possible. First stick of progress came through at A. Now it's just a lone Crooked over here until Red Chase comes back out of P2. It's going to be able to lock down that site with an AR. Get 6-1 star for Red Chase, by the way. That doesn't go unnoticed. Absolutely just flying. Crooked is here. He's about to get the last tick of progress needed. Just one last player here defensively. It's going to be Zuri. Crooked drops down around the barrel to be able to find the kill. That's the A zone captured for Concord.
Big play. Those are the first 2 kills as well coming through there for Crooked. And what a time to get both of those 2 kills. Lots of time to play with now for Concord Maroon. They're up in lives. They got about 1:40 to work with, and they've actually already been able to make their way over towards this B zone, stopping the clock, putting a bit of pressure on the defense. And well, pressure is coming through. 3 players dropping down. Crooked ends with 2 on the last life and responds with 2 on this one. Everything is going just absolutely beautifully as they're going to be able to stack the zone. Trauma pushes up immediately as well as they get that map control in. Boy, oh boy, Concord Maroon, Andy, they're looking good in respawn.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, off of Red Chase, absolutely frying through their first life, and Crook just absolutely icing things up there to find their first 2 kills and the most influential 2 kills I saw all round. To be able to get that A zone, I mean, to be nitpicky here at the same point in time, I mean, California State University, Long Beach. I don't know what you were doing trying to commit so many lives there at the end. You even saw the respawn count. There were a multitude of win conditions there for Concord Maroon to be able to close that out. CSULB Black, they didn't just pull themselves back to be able to go for a last-minute contest together as a team. Single file line. You're not lining up for a cafeteria lunch here, y'all. You gotta wait for your teammates before you go in there and try to break inside that zone. It comes back to bite them in the rear, and now Concord Maroon are in a great spot to be able to keep the momentum on their side. But CSULB Black for their offense, 3 players headed towards A.
They will be able to get themselves right in the zone, but not a whole lot of mid-map control is going to be in their favor. And well, there you have it. I mean, all the gunfights just come through. Flama, the last one, really up and alive as his teammates are coming off the spawn. He's forced into a bad gunfight, and now you have to work out of your spawn here. Already off to a pretty tricky start for the second round, the very first offense for the side of CSULB Black, but Zuri does find the first one. Trauma's hidden in behind, and they're going to try and go searching for that, but Afro does manage to make his way towards the plane here as he has a chance to be able to maybe disrupt a bit of the defense, but still struggling to get out. Red Chase will follow it up. He gets the trade, and they are still pinned in their spawn.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those scary circumstances I framed up ahead of the checkmate control. You lose that gunfight convincingly. Now you find yourselves at 35 seconds. It's 23 respawns to the 18. Concord Maroon have the win conditions set. Time will come first. Rook is going rogue. He's going to be able to find one. They got backup behind them, and that just means that the hit through the center of the plane is all the more influential. It's a 3-for-1 trade where Afro's the last player alive. There's Red Chase tries to get flashy with the Diamati and the beatdown. Doesn't come through. Afro absolutely takes him out.
Feels like you deal with one in your spawn, and then there's just another one that comes out of nowhere and almost just spawns right there with you, Andy. It is not looking great, and it's not looking easy as just about every single lane, they're finding some opening to push on through. But finally, some kills do come in, and they do stop the clock here at about 8.9 seconds. So still a chance to be able to grab that extra minute, but down in lives is what's really going to hurt Tom Zuri. Does get help from Bolt there as he's going to be able to land some shots in. Attacking B now as they're going to stop the clock once again at 5.3, but Zuri's just under so much fire, so much pressure, doesn't exactly have the support. He's losing his teammates as they come off spawn, but maybe Zuri doesn't need help. Zuri finds two, tries to line up three. Red Chase will have none of it, able to take him down. Afro in from behind, can't get on the zone, so Concord Maroon still will be able to hold on their defense as they go up 2-0.
Yeah, and when you're just in that last-ditch effort, I mean, I can't tell you how many times since Cold War has started, some of them casted with you, Austin, that we've seen an offensive round win turn the tides just with about 2 seconds. I mean, hell, even last day with the Challengers Cup, we saw a time stop at literally 0 seconds, and they won the offensive round. I think that was an APAC. Maybe it was NA. I don't know. Those were long hours spent last weekend, but still, nevertheless, it was very impressive stuff coming through from Concord Maroon. Again, they know what to push the envelope. The pressure was all there. Red Chase is at 13-4, for goodness sakes. When you have an AR just firing off on all cylinders like this in a very open lane map that is checkmate, yeah, it becomes very difficult. CSULB, this is a must-win defensive round, but through the center of the plane, Concord Maroon are looking to fly for that center map control. That is what you are always going to be playing for. But big 3 kills come through from CSULB Black will now be able to put themselves in the momentous favor for a round.
Now, can they replicate what Concord did here and try and see if they can get some players through and be a nuisance in from behind? Red Chase does find the first one to try and work himself out, but Bolt able to line up 2 for himself. Flama under pressure in behind the truck will get taken down here to Megatron's pistol, but here's Afro in from behind, a chance to maybe find some kills, but Bolt's going to add in the assistance. So far so good as they're chipping away at the life, not allowing Concord to really move up on the map. Finally though, with a couple of kills coming through, Red in towards the kill feed, there's a chance to start to make a hit towards A, and they find Bolt to be able to get on through.
Yeah, and this is where it gets scary, right? I mean, you even brought up the respawn, Sue. It was only a 2 respawn lead, and then CSULB, they overextend slightly, both north and south. Concord Maroon off the respawn, they're able to isolate both those kills. Was able to open up the lane through the center and over towards the A zone, and now they have control of the map. First tick of progress already gained. Second tick is here over towards A. They are stacking this with 2 players and the backup from Trauma from behind. You're not going to be able to contest this if you're CSULB Black. You're going to be able to find a couple exit kills. That would be good to keep the respawns close and just lock things down inside the B zone, but those are 3 very quick kills for Concord.
Answering back ever so quick. Minute 20 on the clock now, and Trauma's got an excellent power position to start chipping away at those lives even more. No one really making a move defensively. Flama will be a little bit too exposed, and Trauma is going to be able to bring home the kill. Wolf spot in a second, but just wisely just backs down, waits for his teammates to push through. Won't win the gunfight. Megatron off screen taken down, but Trauma's still alive now as he finds himself on 3. Tries the gun for 4, but will once again play his life, force the gunfights to come to him. And this is still a good amount of time to work with as that first tick has been secured on B.
You're going to keep your life. If you think his last player is over here, Megatron's going to go down. Correct is still in towards the back line, keep in mind you, and you might just have to turn around to be able to help your team. This is a good opportunity now for CSULB Black. Sub 1 minute, only 1 tick of progress over towards B, 2-for-1 trade. You still got Crook looking for the spawn kills, but, and again, Flama towards the backside of the plane is going to be able to keep their life. This is 3 straight for them, and a resurgence for this round. Again, much needed for CSULB Black. It's now down to 40 seconds, but look at the respawns. Just 1 towards the 6. You got to keep your life here if your CSULB Black, and Zuri goes down.
Afro now, really important role to play inside of this plane. Everything slows down for a moment. Concord Maroon could get completely wiped and still lose this. So they realize they have to take it with patience and trauma. He finds Bolt. No respawns remaining. Afro, he can't respond on his gunfight. Zuri, can he go massive? He's going to have his duo with him, but Flama will fall. Zuri now left all alone right now. He did it before and found a few kills, but this time around, it is not going to matter. He hops up on the wing. Concord Maroon is ready and waiting. A 3-0 coming through here for map number 3. Enough to take the swing and enough to go up in the series.
Yeah, it's starting to look like regular season Concord Maroon back in the Modern Warfare season. I mean, they just play so damn fast, and they execute things so quickly. The submachine gun pressure just opening up the lanes for Red Chase to go absolutely hamburgers, and that's Concord Maroon in a nutshell. Again, if you give Red Chase the opportunity to find those sight lines, to get comfortable, put their feet up, and maybe get themselves in a nice little snuggie, then they're absolutely just going to just beam you. I mean, they were double positive there at the end. I believe I saw that Crook was also at about like 17, 18, and 9, or something along the lines, something crazy and silly. But still, when you're able to find yourself that much value, that much opening, then that's where control can become absolutely your game mode, to be able to dictate the pace from the center of the map all the way towards the enemy spawn as well. I mean, it definitely helps when you're gunning people down like the SMGs and the ARs for Concord Maroon, but still, nevertheless, looking pretty strong in respawn, like you said, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, that was, really the big takeaways last year was just like you just touched on there, just so much slaying power and just, so much versatility between the ARs and subs that work off each other just ever so beautifully, that it just allows this teamwork to kind of just naturally flow and come together. And you see that take place on the mini map when you're watching all these pushes come through, whether it's offensively or defensively. They're always clearing out the middle of the plane. They're getting plane control, then working towards B, or, just being able to attack the important parts of the map so they can set themselves up for success. Just absolutely beautiful done here for the squad, and they have a chance to close things out. They've been flawless so far coming through in the respawns. We look back on that map 1 where they closed that one out 250 to 118. They do slip up a bit in the search and destroy, where I think that's where obviously CSULB Black has looked the best so far. 3-0 here in the control, and now they have to try and fight and bounce back here going in towards raid hardpoint. And I mean, it's really difficult to make the argument that they're going to be able to really bounce back because the teamwork has not been there. You can still see a lot of solo pushes kind of taking place on the map here for us, going for those solo chows, not always waiting for their teammates. And that's just naturally the chemistry that we have to assume is obviously here for Concord. That's still being built up here for this other roster. But you have to really start to fix a lot of that, I think, coming in towards this map, because you got to be telling yourselves right now, if we can get this to the map 5, guys, we can absolutely take this series. We already beat them in one search and destroy, and it was pretty convincing for the most part. We had some pop-off moments, so we know that they have the capability to be able to gun some of these Concord members. It's just piecing that together and respawn. I think that's really the biggest cookie to kind of crack, as Infinity always likes to say, going in towards really difficult situations. And that's something that we have to kind of look at for these guys, and what they're going to have to look at themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it's just scary to say that you have to sit there and we got to take a hard point off Concord Maroon after we just got slapped around in the second set of hills back on Moscow. But you got to look at what you were able to find success with in that first set of hills back on Moscow. Was Afro, Flama, and Bolt being able to at least slay down the pressure and being able to really bring it towards some of the players from Concord Maroon. The submachine gun pressure, it's got to be there for raid. You got to be able to get at least a single AR inside the power positions when you're thinking about 4P1, especially whichever side that you're starting on. Laundry, top red, you're looking over towards the basketball court. Bedroom, back jungle as well. Those are all power positions that an AR is going to be absolutely able to feast. And this is where you go into the core fundamentals and the tried and trues of Call of Duty, that the AR is locking down those sight lines. That is space that is opening for the submachine guns to absolutely fly. That's what Concord Maroon were able to find success with back in Moscow. This is what CSULB Black are going to have to try to find here on Raid Hardpoint.
Yeah, they absolutely will. And I mean, gunning someone like Red Chase for now seems to be a problem, right? And you just
I don't know
if
it's going to happen, man. Red Chase is heated up.
It's funny because, we talked about last year, Red Chase just, turned the switch on in playoffs, and he kind of just, I wouldn't say like completely neglected the season, but he wasn't someone who stood out on that roster, right? We had 5v5. There's a lot of members we brought up when talking about that Concord roster as a whole. And I just wasn't really a fact that Red Chase just really ever came up in that conversation. But when we got the playoffs, you're like, where is this Red Chase, man? Because he came out of nowhere. He was dropping bombs. He was putting up numbers. And I mean, he's already doing that really early in towards the game here, which is just such a great outlook at what this Concord Maroon roster might be able to do here for us going in towards this season. But at the very least, that is certainly going to be a problem with all the headies, with all the lanes that play out here on Raid. You have to be able to deal with the AR pressure. And well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see if they can do it. This could be do or die for the side of CSULB Black. Can they answer back? Can they respond back? They're going to have to. As we see the break come through, it's going to be pretty much all yellow so far, which will be good for a couple of kills. And there is going to be the response afterwards. Trauma and Red Chase, they clean things up. They have control, and they're going to start racking up some time.
Absolutely will. And well, just because our producer and Switchy told me I can't tell the damn difference, but the colors are backwards, so pay attention to the names and what's going on in the mini-map just off the numbers and the names alone. Don't necessarily bind to the stonks of the colors. So, and what you're going to be realizing is Concord Maroon, they did start off on the favored side, so to be able to find a couple of early kills while being able to hold laundry and kitchen control, this is the name of the game so far for Concord Maroon, and they're doing a pretty darn good job at that, Austin. I mean, players towards the middle of the map, one player actually spawning out will be Trauma because of where player number 1 and 4 are hitting. Bolt and Flama looking to hold this off angle. If they're able to scout out that there are players inside of jungle and towards the backside of kitchen, find those kills to break inside P2 would absolutely be a virtue.
Oh, Bolt, though. He finds 2. Red Chase will hold the zone on the rock, so he won't allow the full push to come through. But hitting cutout here off screen could be enough to overwhelm Red Chase at the back, and it is. So now they have the back spawns. Can they now actually pressure the hill? Gunfight's good for Afro, but Trauma able to respond with 1 and then will quickly back away. Realizes he doesn't have the reinforcements just yet, so we'll wait patiently as he tries to get some shots in. His submachine guns now with him as they look to try and set up this break. Afro still on a tear, finds himself Red Chase. Afro finds his second. There is 4 down as Afro finds all 3 off screen. Beautifully done, as this might even be even more coming through. They have a chance to flip spawns out and maybe even get control of this next hill on the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, they might just end up breathing this. I mean, Crook's going to try to hit this inside of kitchen. Megatron does find 2 kills, so at least get yourself some breathing room here if you are Concord Maroon and not get absolutely snapped early inside of a stronghold. This is going to have to be your garage hill for Concord Maroon to get 40, 50, hell, just try to get a whole 60 here to try to get yourself into comfort buffer. If not, give up the back 10 so that you can make the long rotation back across the map for the next hill. But you're going to have to focus here on P3. Spread is pretty good. Crook does find Zuri, but here comes the hit from the red side of the map. And, well, Crook is actually going to spawn now. This is going to have to be the read for Concord Maroon, knowing that these players are close. 2-for-1 trade. Megatron in the corner, along with Crook, is going to be able to find 3. Get more breathing room for Concord Maroon and P3.
Team play is looking a lot better, but Megatron just ends up combining for those 2 kills. Shuts it down. Crook is pushed up. He's got Zig control. That's good for a kill as they start to make this long rotation. And I mean, this is now a scary moment to be in for the side of CSULB Black. You have to win out on this initial first kill so that you don't spawn at the old hill. And Crook's got a little bit of support with him as he has to get through Afro here in the tight right corner, but will not search. Doesn't matter. Does slip by. His teammate's going to be able to clean him up. So they have jungle control, and they're at the top. Spawn still coming through over by the pool side right now for the side of everyone on the side of CSULB Black, and they might just have enough control to be able to hold on to this. This is a much better rotation, but can they actually win out on the battles up top? So far, it's not going to swing their way. Red Chase finds the first one. He allows Crook to move in, but Afro, he wins his gunfight in the hill, but will eventually be taken out.
Yeah, I mean, Flama also just hit it through the jungle side off the respawn. 3 straight now for them. And although Concord Maroon were able to find success from the Tiki side of the basketball court, and from the backside, they had no idea that Flama was coming in from that side alone, and Afro did a wonderful job of keeping themselves alive. So 25 seconds left. Scrap time is here before you have to really focus towards the center of the map. And it looks like the Concord Maroon, they know this. Big kills do come through. Trade from the grave will be Afro's Semtex. But you know, the back 13, going to be given over towards Concord Maroon. You can see where CSULB Black on the mini-map, those red arrows are starting to move towards red, towards the center of the map, trying to get the spread. Concord Maroon are going to try to read this. Big opening kill for them. You got to be careful when you're challenging that Trauma.
Red Chase just going to have to try and control and lock this down. You want control of ringside. Whoa, Zuri just rips Red Chase right off the head. He puts him to bed early. That's enough maybe to try and get that to the spawns. Bolt, he will also get gunned inside the hill. Crook just playing the objective role. very nicely right now as he's trying to allow his teammates to slay in and around, but Afro does manage to find two. Zuri gets himself right back in the point, finds himself a kill. Afro with the stick, I think, is good enough for the execute here, and there will be a break. This is great back and forth hard point right now for us, as this might be another lead change coming through. CSULB Black will be able to do exactly that as they're ahead by a couple of points, trying to grab the last 20 seconds or so. Fama also worried about this rotation as he has Zuri to back him up, and they have also won the rotation. This has been an excellent P5 as well as a reset back to P1 here for the side of CSULB Black.
Yeah, and Zuri also found Crook. That's over by Laundry. Doubled on up down the way with Bolt. This could be the opportunity to try to break in towards the jungle side of the map. But again, focus on P1. Focus on the middle of the map. Control Flama over top of the box. 60 HP is going to be able to get some help from afar. Bolt also takes down Trauma, but 2 kills do come through in return from Concord Maroon. And an opportunity does present itself. Not only to hold on towards the P2 spawns, to bring yourself back inside this map and potentially be able to hold on towards the lead, but to maybe contest the point. 2 kills come through. 3 players of Concord Maroon are flying on forward. Afro is here. Last line of defense along with Bolt, who will now lose their life. 4 HP in a dream as Afro hops on top of Spiral, trying to lock down a kill. Can't find it, but the reinforcements from CSULB Black are not too far.
Very, very scrappy, but Concord Maroon just can't really get a foothold on the hill and actually lock it down. But with that kill, that might be enough for the scrap time. Zuri will take 2 before falling. Another 1v1 inside the hill. Fama able to win this, and it seems like every time they get the players off the hill, 2 more just come right out of nowhere and bust on through. But with 5 seconds, that should end up going over. The spawn's coming through and towards the middle of the map right now, as they're going to have to start to set up this break. Concord Maroon, they need to actually grab some crucial time, and Kitchen Hill is a good chance to do exactly that. Crook going for the pre-fire, won't be able to find Afro. They will be able to break right through the front. Megatron at least takes 1 before falling, but that is a very easy just came through off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, previously, CSULB, they broke into the backside of jungle when there was about 15 seconds left inside P1. This time, they just absolutely fly on through the front door like you were talking about. They find the kills, and now in control of the hill. There's still 32 seconds left. In Concord Maroon, they might try to hit this one more time. They are absolutely trying to do that. And you almost have to think that this is a really scary place to be at. Keeping it contested, a great job coming out from Concord Maroon, but they can't keep their lives for too much longer. You're going to have to take that contested time with a grain of salt, give over the back 15 of P2, and just, again, make P3 a money hill.
Look at Afro right now, 21-14 with almost 2 minutes in the hill. The objective work has been phenomenal, to say the least, so far. But now can they actually break in towards Garage? They struggled last time around, and this is where Concord Maroon was able to work themselves back in towards the game for as far as points. Red Chase does find the very first kill, and you can see Zuri just going to completely slow things down. I like this. Wait for the coordination. As you see on the mini-map, all the players starting to come through the middle of the map through Zig. One's going to hit the pool side. Zuri does manage to find himself Megatron and does loosen up a bit of the control inside of the actual hill at the moment. Red Chase just trying to play his life, waiting for the challenge here from Afro, who's still trying to wait patiently for the hit as they all attack back AC. They're inside the point now. This is looking a lot better, but Red Chase has done an excellent job at playing his life. Finally, he will go down by explosion. Bolt just trying to play his life as long as he can, so they don't get the full break, but they do contest a bit of the time at the very least.
Yeah, and CSULB Black, they're actually reading this wonderfully, knowing that P3 is, well, hellaciously far. It's quite literally on the opposite side of the map towards P4, towards the basketball courts. And they know that Concord Maroon are going to be looking towards going that way as well. Zuri even thought about it as well, spawning out. So now CSULB Black, they got to know that players from Concord Maroon are just outside of this area. And the last player alive will be Crook. Has to keep their life. Get some close reinforcements as well. 4 straight now for Crook, 24-17, trying to finesse their life towards the basketball court here for the initial time as well. Fantastic opening for Concord Maroon to not only bring themselves back towards the game, but potentially flip the lead.
Crooked on 5. He has to go massive inside the point right now, and he will be overwhelmed. So the re-break does come through. CSULB Black looking to break over 200 points as the next hit has to come through the pool side, and they are losing numbers as fast as they're coming up. One player now off screen will spawn in from behind to maybe potentially set up a bit of a pinch. The push down through Kitchen as it's going to be the Diamante. Good for 1, but Zuri always finding multiple kills before taking down Afro. Turns his attention towards the top, has the battle through 2, and that will be a great break here for the scrap time. So we make a rotation now back towards the last hill for us at P5, inside of square. They just got 1 player off of ring. A chance now to fight for the spawns as we see Zuri try and clean this up, and he wins the 1-on-1 versus Red Chase.
This is a really scary spot to be in if you're a Concord Maroon. I mean, CSULB Black can absolutely close it out here. They had a fantastic P5 in the previous set of hills. 2-for-1 trade. Bolt doubles on down. Megatron, massive mistakes were made, and that means that CSULB Black, they're going to be able to remain in control of P5. It's 235 to 204, and now you have 2 players for Concord spawning over towards P3. Is CSULB Black going to read this coming through from Zig stairs? The answer, not so much. From Flama comes around, is able to find the first, is able to find one more. Is the going to be able to find another as well? 21 to 19, Drama inside the kitchen. There's the other kill. You got to try to keep it contested, but Concord Maroon just simply cannot. 250 to 204. We're going to a map 5.
Oh, Flama just found all 4, and of course it's the play of the game. Look at this, zapping from 1 to 2, and then plays his life finesses for Crook, and wow, just the last one. Shots come through, jumps out the other way. Drama not ready for that one. 4-man coming through in the end with the sub. Unbelievable play right there, Andy. We said there's been a massive problem in respawn right now for this squad. Well, they completely shut me up going in towards that map because I didn't think they were going to be able to overcome that. But for whatever reason, we just see them start to coordinate much better hits that time around, especially when they were breaking some of these hills. There was a lot more patience. You could see them just not getting very antsy, slowing things down, and actually waiting for some of these bait and switches to come through to lead towards potential breaks. That was a much cleaner team play coming through, and enough to get us towards the map 5, which is exactly what I framed up as well, saying if they can get themselves towards the map 5, saying, hey, we already beat these guys in Search and Destroy. We look pretty clean. We had a couple of clutches. I mean, you got to be feeling great, especially swinging off of that momentum from that last map here. So this is looking great as we head in towards what will be a Moscow Search and Destroy. Played a lot differently without smokes and snipers, remind you, for anyone that is just tuning in. So there have to have been some kind of adjustments for as far as what you're looking to do and your strategies with this, with not having that smoke, throwing it down by the bomb site, rushing in, playing for those fast plants, or using that sniper to work for picks. We'll have to see exactly what creativity is really going to come through on this map for us here going in towards the last one.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what people are truly saying right now, I mean, University of Concord, West Virginia. CSULB, again, California State University of Long Beach. Do I really have to spell it out for you how far that is across the entirety of the United States? I mean, yes, there will be some problems as far as host is concerned, but that was just very clean hard point coming out from Cali Long Beach. I mean, you got to really just chalk it up to just that. I mean, the break from Bolt, the go inside P2 within the first set of hills, and that just transitioned into exactly what I was speculating, exactly what had to happen there for CSULB, and the sub pressure, it was there. In the continuation, just like you were talking about, you could just see how they were finessing through the entirety of the map, just playing together like you talked about, just playing for each other's lives, being able to find the trades, put themselves in power positions. You're able to spiral that quite literally into a raid hardpoint victory. We're going to a map 5, baby. I'm excited. First map back here on CCL. First match, and we got ourselves a map 5. Austin, feels good to be back.
It feels great to be back, Andy. 4v4 COD, Treyarch game. We got a map 5 first series back. Like you said, man, it is just a fantastic time. Hope all you guys in the chat are also having a blast with our CCL Kickoff Classic, getting back in towards things, seeing really what these squads look like so far. And I mean, this is obviously a great match that we have because you got Concord Maroon, for anyone that doesn't know, just pretty much dominated their entire division last season, went all the way through playoffs, going up towards that grand final and just falling short in that second best of 5, but still a squad that has so much to offer, so much chemistry. And I mean, just think of what this would do for as far as, an overall morale boost for a squad like CSULB Black, right? Coming in towards this matchup, thinking this is going to be a really tough one to try and get past. These guys have been, working together and playing with each other for such a long time. To take these guys down would almost be enough to maybe propel the entire story going right through the rest of the bracket. Right at this point in time, it would definitely be massive, but you still got to get through them. And as much as we do see Concord Maroon still bleed here and there, it doesn't mean you've exactly finished them and taken them down. So you still have to go in towards this map 5 with a clear mindset, thinking about how we're going to be able to still do and replicate a lot of what we did last time around. And I feel like for the most part, Concord Maroon did have a couple of pretty disrespectful plays in that Search and Destroy, giving Afro the challenge onto, the bomb site with 20 seconds left, right? Just maybe playing with their food a little too much, trying to go for those ego chows, not respecting these players as much as they maybe should. And that might now kind of reflect going in towards this, saying, all right, this is exactly what we did wrong in the Search and Destroy. This is what we need to fix here. And I do expect them to still come out very strong going in towards will be Moscow Search. But I mean, at the very least, you're going to a map 5 versus squad that has been together for such a long time. And that alone, I think it's got to be enough to kind of get you amped up, gassed up, a close map 4 as well, to be able to clutch that one up. I mean, you also end that with a 4-piece. Like, there is just so much going your way. I feel like the faster we get into the game, the better it's going to be here for CSULB Black, because they just can roll with all of this going in towards Moscow Search and Destroy.
Absolutely. I mean, because when it comes down to Moscow Search and Destroy, smokes, no snipes, whatever it may be. I mean, some machine guns can absolutely fry, especially when you're just thinking about Moscow Search and Destroy just at a fundamental level. I mean, just think about that very quick hit on top escalators over towards the AS and D site. All submachine guns, baby. I mean,
Yeah.
the AR can be able to lock things down, whether you're over by pillars defensively, or over on the staircase offensively. But I mean, there are a lot of different instances that rounds get flipped on its head because a submachine gun absolutely goes AWOL either at the beginning of the round or towards the end. And that's exactly what you're going to be thinking about, especially for players like Flama coming off of that 4-piece, like you said. I mean, you got to be feeling the gas at that point, baby. I mean, that was a fantastic ending towards that raid hard point. But, on the other things, this is where you can have Concord Maroon go absolutely crazy as well. If the submachine guns and even if Megatron, the flex player, ends up picking up one as well, this is where things can get freaky. This is, again, where they found a lot of value all regular season long. All the submachine guns just going crazy. And although Paralysis isn't with them anymore, again, moving to 4v4, this is where their small talk absolutely reigns supreme and just being able to dictate the pace of the map. Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, it was domination back in the day. Control, just like what you just saw, can absolutely flip in their favor. But again, you got to be able to wipe that sweat off their brow, Concord Maroon, because you got to get through this map 5 if you want to stay alive in the single elimination bracket.
Yeah, and this is a big one for them. I mean, I'm sure they would love to prepare that tweet saying back-to-back kickoff, champions, right? I mean,
Yes,
I'm
they
sure it's
would.
already prepped. It's in the drafts. It's ready to go for them for sure. A lot of these guys would absolutely love that, and I'd love that too, for sure. But at the end of the day, like you said, you got to get through this squad first. You got to see if you can actually battle through and take them down. You can maybe kind of see them taking a moment right now for as far as getting themselves ready to get into this map 5. But for anyone who does not know as well, we have a Bravo stream that's also looking at the other side of the bracket here for us, kind of see exactly what teams are going to be matching up against who. So make sure you have both streams up for as far as what we're going to have, because we're going to have a lot of Call of Duty action here for you, as well as once we get towards the regular season, 2 streams going to be up. There's just going to be so much Call of Duty, so much 4v4, so much collegiate players in the mix, getting themselves known or having some players that are going to be returning and making sure that they hold on towards what they had last season. So much going on in towards the CCL. Make sure you guys also follow everything down below. You see the Twitter links, the Discord. Make sure you guys all join that. If you're looking to get involved, you can look to talk to some people as well for as far as maybe setting up a team next year. So much going on within collegiate Call of Duty esports right now for us. But jumping in towards this one now, ladies and gents, this is for all the marbles. Map 5, Concord Maroon up against CSULB Black, and we kick things off on offense here for Concord.
Yeah, even Switchy popped off in production too. The colors are right. So the Concord Maroon represented in red, they're actually neglecting the entire through the middle of the map. They go through gold, through the boulevard, get inside the BS and D side. This is going to come down to Zuri. Has to try to read this. It's going to have a little bit of a pinch. Isolated gunfight off screen, of course. Llama will lose their life, but here comes Zuri from the back to answer back for 2.
With the AR, with the sub, does not matter. Cleans things up. But Bomb does end up going down. Afro, a gunfight he should have won and doesn't. Crook finds the kill. Zuri now with a chance to grab all 4 in the round up against Trauma. Has the submachine gun, goes for the challenge. Zuri brings it home. A full ace coming through. A little spins at the end as well. They will celebrate as he goes through with the defuse, and they will be able to hold on to their first defensive round.
And again, like I don't care what you say about hosts, because I mean, CSULB Black come right back in there. Zuri comes right back in there, is able to find the trade. Of course, we'll see it from their perspective one more time for the best play of the round. Why wouldn't you? Knows that Red Chase is there, turns back around, is able to find another. Even in a retake situation, the trades are coming on through. The information from the opposite side of apartments is conveyed. Zuri hits it one more time, drop down to low HP, and then just goes back in for the 4th. Well-deserved and fantastic gunfights coming through from Zuri. And you know the momentum is all in CSULB Black's favor for their offense.
Zuri, which is with the sub. I mean, we've been seeing him with the AR just about the entire series here, and it doesn't matter. I'm a little bit mind blown right now. Andy, this is looking to be good. And well, now he's going to switch back towards the AR, give a little mix of both worlds here heading in towards this round number 2. And Bolt does manage to find first blood. And it looks to be almost maybe the same strategy. The bomb's in the middle of the map, but you can see player 8 off screen that we were just on board with. Zuri is trying to work for some statue control, maybe trying to set up B. And now a couple of the rotators here from Concord on that mini-map will also make their way over towards B. But look at the mind games being played right now. Everyone rotates here from Concord. They don't really spot anything. They don't really see anything. Zuri completely backs up. And now they're going to start to slowly but surely work themselves inside of A. Of course, they don't know that this site's completely free, but once they get this bomb down, this is going to be very difficult to retake unless Crook can get in here and find a couple of quick kills.
And both these sites could be relatively very hard to retake. Crook might hear a little something going on the other side of pillars, but doesn't want to commit towards the challenge. Here comes the fly and the commitment from CSULB Black. Crook, a little bit of an overextension, will be a 1-for-1 trade. You were already down one player, though, Concord Maroon, so now leaving Red Chase and Megatron. The 2v3. Llama trying to flip their attention over towards Billboard. Red Chase will be able to find one quick trades. 16 seconds remaining. That's the win condition now for Megatron. There's no way that they're going to know that they're hitting this through the square side. Megatron, spidey senses are tingling, though. Of course, they're not committing towards this site. The SMG in tow is going to hop through the little window inside the office. We're going to be able to find the kill, but the bomb has already been planted.
Zuri yet to die so far, up against Megatron. Megatron with the wrap might just be good for Zuri. It is. We'll be able to pull off the 1v2, making sure they do not go down early. And that is a massive clutch for the young gun here, able to make sure they come through and tie things up early.
Yeah, and again, you know, this is 100% just comes down to Megatron to be able to realize this situation that was happening right in front of him. Obviously, they didn't recommit from the opposite side of Billboard, so they had to have been going over towards B, given that there was only 7 seconds remaining on the clock. Hits it, would have loved to have been able to find that kill before the bomb had gotten planted, but knew that Zuri was potentially going to be looking on the back boulevard towards the police station, potentially even inside of the BS&D site. Did not end up looking towards the cutout wall. Fantastic minor rotations coming through from Megatron, finding 2 in that round, even from a numbers disadvantage. Maroon come back, tying it up 1 apiece. Inside of round number 3, we will go. If you missed that opening defensive round for Zuri, they found a full-on ace over towards the BS&D site. Concord Maroon are going to go for a 4-player hit over towards A.
First time we've actually got a full hit over towards A. Third round in, it'll come. Megatron sees trophies down, sees shots being fired, finds the first one, gets challenged on the second. Megatron keeps that spree going, switches over towards the AR, trying to lock down Zuri in the back towards the sub. He will go, shots will not land, trying to challenge it out, and Zuri will make him punish this time around, but he is pressured, he is weak, but it doesn't matter, the trade is not there. Zuri with another massive clutch. It just seems like we're getting clutch after clutch right now here, Andy, and Zuri will deliver once again.
Zuri SMG on defense, AR on offense. I don't know what the heck it means, but it's beautiful to be able to watch. That's for damn sure. The Diamatti there to be able to find that final kill. Absolutely a spectacle. Found 4 in their first defense, 3 in the second. I mean, absolutely crazy. 7-1, 3 rounds. You want to talk about a player that's finding value as far as all 3 of these rounds are concerned. You look no further than Zuri. We'll start their round here for CSULB Black. Second offense with Zuri. Has a 74U in hand, looking to hit the A site very quickly. Trying to say anything Concord Maroon attempts to do, we will do better.
Zuri first challenge, finds the first one, lines up Trauma. 9-1 for Zuri, and well, that is just a beautiful round. I don't think anyone ended up dropping, if any, maybe one, but we'll get another look at this. Just Zuri with the challenge, goes for the peak, Trauma not ready, and will get taken down. Zuri's coming to play in map 5 right now, Andy.
What? Someone put this man on ice or something. I mean, 5 straight through 2 rounds. What? This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I mean, yet again, you know, even our producer Switchy just ringing in my earlobes right now. Yeah, this is Concord Maroon's host. I don't care. I mean, the CSULB Black, even in that raid hardpoint, just playing it wonderfully. Here on this Moscow Search and Destroy, playing it wonderfully. And now for Concord Maroon, looking to hit it through escalators. A little bit of a stun check comes through on the AS&D site. Doesn't find much information, but they're still committing towards the checkered side, and Megatron gets first blooded.
Even with the sub, you can see Red Chase didn't want any of that. He did not want any of that. That man is 10-1. You just let him fly. Leave him alone. Go back to A. And that's exactly what Concord is going to do. Of course, down one of their members. Crook trying to work up here in between the pillars. Bolt will end up dropping Trauma right in from behind. We'll grab the trade. So 2v2 we go. Trauma with the bomb has a chance to drop this at A. But in from behind, Zuri. He might just get the perfect timing here. Lining up 1. Lines up 2. Zuri now 12-1. 8 in a row. Working towards streaks. And that is enough to go up 4-1.
I mean, you just can't let this happen. Concord Maroon is 12-1. My God. we'll see it again. I mean, given that it is a 2v2 situation, I mean, just in the last second, one player from Concord tries to go check the billboard just in a full sprint. Of course, one player had to stick the bomb. I mean, you really only had so many different options at that point to be able to cover the bomb planter, but man, oh man, Zuri is frying. 8 straight through 3 rounds, 12-1. My God, Concord Maroon, they got to hit the regain button real quick because something is just not going right in their search to destroy. They're down 3 rounds. They're going to have to start the climb back here in their defense.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're on board with the man himself because he is bringing home all the kills. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's just look at the challenge. He's just got a sub and he's just going for the long range challenge versus Red Chase. Absolutely in his zone, but no one will drop here just yet. They will have a little bit of control, and you could see Concord very far pushed back in towards the spawn. Red Chase, he gets it. Beat a little bit, but doesn't actually go down all the way. Shots do come through again, but finally Zuri does get cut down on that spree. No streaks come through. Flama maybe also trying to get that 2-piece, but won't happen. Concord Maroon take a little bit more of a passive defensive hold here by this side, and they will be able to come out on top.
Look, it's exactly what happened in the raid search and destroy. You pull yourself back. You're not winning the aggressive gunfights. You're not finding the trades as quickly as CSULB Black were back in that raid search and destroy. So you got to do the same thing here for Moscow search and destroy. You are down 2 rounds. But now it's about consistency. 1 round at a time, Concord Maroon, to be able to read what California State University Long Beach are doing and round to round and being able to adapt to it, being able to overcome it as well. Perseverance is absolutely what you need for a championship caliber team here in the CCL. Concord Maroon, I mean, they know that. Got to be able to exhibit that here, even in a kickoff tournament, if they want to walk away the champions. And Crook hitting it through the center of the map with teammates in tow is going to be able to find Flama for first blood. That's more than enough information for CSULB Black for where Concord Maroon want to try to play the rock.
Zuri inside finds the first one, but trade is good this time around. No 2 pieces. That's what you like to see here for Concord. Hold on towards their numbers advantage. Sub picked up here for Megatron as this bomb is going to be dropped here by B. Megatron looking to pick up the middle of the map, but won't win the 1-on-1 versus Afro, and now 2v2 we go.
5 seconds left. Afro, Trauma hit that aggressively. Was able to walk away with the kill. Bolt now inside of the BS&D site. Gonna be trying to look towards the center by Globe. Saw Trauma just the last second over by the bus, but that's all the information that the players of Concord Maroon. Yeah, it was a very awkward engagement. Really, Red Chase is going to be able to come out on top of that. So 2 rounds in a row now for Concord Maroon, making this a 1-round affair.
And Zuri has been shut down the last couple of rounds here. He's not finding those constant multi-kills. He's being traded out. So Concord Maroon at least making these small adjustments to be able to climb back in towards this game. Now only going to be down by 1 as they've grabbed the last 2 rounds here for themselves. And now it's just a matter of, all right, who else is going to be able to step up here besides Zuri? Because, I mean, the man has done enough. He's got you a lot of rounds, but you still got to bring home 2. That is going to be the problem. Can they do exactly that here and bounce back? Aggression going to be really what they come back to, but aggression from the middle of the map from Crooked is there for first blood. Zuri will grab the trade, however, so 3v3, and that's going to be Megatron who ends up finding 1. Trauma with the second. Everyone shut down, and Red Chase grabs the last one. Concord Maroon stepping it up as they take 3 rounds in a row.
And another beautiful adaptation, like you were just talking about. Crooked is here in the bottom side of escalators, aggressively for the defense. I mean, for CSULB Black, they have hit the AS&D site, what is it, 3 offenses in a row now?
Yeah.
So that's just where you're going to be able to find success. The rest of the members for Concord Maroon are playing passively. Of course, you had Trauma in the cutout wall, also be able to find a kill. CSULB Black thinking that once they got that kill on a Crook, that was the only player down in checkers. Not the case. 3 rounds in a row now for Concord Maroon. Really stepping things up here and making this a very competitive map 5 here on Moscow Search and Destroy for our quarterfinals kickoff tournament. And now they're looking to potentially hit it over towards A. Gonna eat a couple shots to the bow, but immediately focus back down towards checkers to make a B rotation. But be careful, player number 6. Flama's inside the cutout wall.
Trauma finds that kill. Zuri responds, but Zuri is traded. And now a chance to get right back in towards this B site. Concord has been just attacking over and over, and Megatron will find Bolt on the cross. Last one up is going to be Afro. He does manage to find himself in a decent position. Will they expect him to have already gotten through? But he's still got to find 3 players, and they're all tucked away.
There easier things have been done in Afro's very young career, but we'll talk about a player potentially trying to step up. This would be your opportunity here, or Afro. Players just stacked inside the small room. And there's some media challenge, nice little slide challenge coming on through just to check the sights. And now Concord Maroon putting themselves up on map and match point here. That is 4 rounds in a row, y'all. Fantastic adaptations coming through from Concord Maroon. They are pushing through top side of escalators in that previous offense. Got hit with a couple shots, so they then shift their focus over towards the BS&D down the escalators. And like we ended up saying, Miflama was inside of that cutout wall, played a pivotal role if they were able to find the kills, but the know-all for Concord Maroon to be able to find that kill and execute the BS&D site. They find themselves here. CSULB Black again, 4 offenses in a row, hard hitting over towards the AS&D site.
Zuri doesn't get tagged up with that nade. So info not going to be here, as he's just trying to play for information in towards the back, not exactly seeing anything just yet. And everyone playing to life. But on the mini-map, you can see 2 players here from Concord. They're coming in from behind for a full flank. And I don't think Bolt is going to expect it, but I think he gets a glimpse of one. Does manage to play his life. Trauma with the challenge, wins the one-on-one battle on Bolt. 3v4, you have to press now, if anything, right now, if you're CSULB Black, because you're a little bit low on time and you don't have too many resources left. But Flama does find the trade, and we're back in an even odds number here with 2v2 for both of these squads.
And I like this coming out from CSULB Black, but I mean, Concord Maroon, knowing that the bomb didn't get dropped, they know exactly where CSULB Black are about to be rotating towards. Trauma finds Flama. This is a do-or-die clutch. Afro down to 103 HP. They got the information, but Afro's got to go big. They got to make the play. Some players coming out. Crook thinks that they're going back towards B. They're going back towards escalators. Big challenge coming out from Afro to be able to take down Trauma. And this might be the opportunity to be able to plant the bomb. Only got 10 seconds. More than enough to be able to plant the bomb here in this 1v1.
Talking about a chance to clutch up a 1v2. Crooked making his way in. The challenge going to be in right now. Afro does manage to slip away for a second, but Crook doesn't see him. So now he has to go searching, trying to track down the player. Peeks into the window. Afro is ready and waiting, but the gunfight does not come through. Crook tries to reposition, and so does Afro as he comes back through the street. Crook now at a guessing game as he's just trying to lock down the location. And Afro's just played this so beautifully. He's going to be able to get the check too, so he can now play his life a little bit longer. Crook still trying to play for info. Afro will spot him. Will he play his life? Ring around the rose. Here we go. Afro will go down, but will he get to the bomb? I think he does. I think he does. The defuse now, the last couple seconds should be good, and they are. Crook will clutch up.
Woo!
No 1v2, and Concord Maroon will move on.
That was scary. We'll see it here from Crook's perspective. Just in the last second, Afro ADS slow moving around that bus side, but man, oh man, awesome. 5 rounds in a row, by the way. That was 4-1. Keep in mind, 5 rounds in a row. Just put that in perspective. Through multiple offenses, California State University Long Beach, they try to hit over towards the AAS&D site. First time, successful. Second time, unsuccessful. Third time, yeah, let's try it again. Unsuccessful. Fourth time, why not? Unsuccessful. But this time, they try to rotate down the escalator side. It was a fantastic read there from Trauma and Crook. Trauma gets absolutely smoked laying prone underneath the cutout wall, but still, the Crook, in the final moments with 10 seconds remaining, is able to find the kill. You almost have to think that if Afro wasn't ADSing there, and like you said, just really committed towards the ring around the Rosie, maybe would potentially going towards a round 11. Not going to be the case. What a fantastic series that just was. I mean, that checkmate control was the only real convincing map apart from the Moscow hardpoint in the second set of hills. But I mean, this California State, Long Beach, this university, I'm excited to see them play throughout the regular season. They have been able to showcase a lot of strengths. I mean, Zuri, all eyes on you, lad, because that was fan-freaking-tastic. And of course, the other players were able to play such a pivotal role, the SMGs, the ARs alike. But the versatility coming out from California University Long Beach is what I'm mostly looking forward to throughout the regular season. But Concord Maroon, again, with this win, they're now putting themselves over towards semifinals, where Illini Orange actually just took down ASU Maroon. So that's going to be the semifinal match. And on the other side of things, SIUE Red are going to be going up against Florida State. So we got a fantastic top 4 throwing off this last bit of the kickoff tournament. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely excited too here, Andy. I mean, we've already gotten an incredible series coming through in the first one. And like you said, just big shout out to these guys here from the CSULB Black Squad, because they really did put in work. They had a massive teamwork kind of change going in towards that map 4, where they fixed some of the respawn mistakes, and they can look back on those first couple of respawns and look to fix those things. But remember, this is the kickoff. They're looking to try and prove themselves, and they take Concord Maroon, the number 2 team from last season, after finishing there in playoffs. So you still got to be feeling at least decent. It obviously never feels great to lose, but you can at least look at this and say, we can build off this, we can work off this. And that is something that I'm also looking forward to once we get towards the regular season. So it's going to be a great time all around. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have to set up our next match, get all the players in lobby. So we're going to throw things to a little bit of a break, try and maybe calm down for a quick second. They get ready for that next match, get some water, because that was hype. That was fun. Don't go too far. We'll be right back with our next series.